everybody. Welcome back to my channel. That's Build an Aquarium Workshop channel. Who am I? I am Jeff, your excellent host. Happy Sunday to you. I hope you've had your coffee already. I'm having my decaf coffee as we speak. Okay, so we are talking about betas again today. We're back at the beta tank. We haven't shown that to you in a while. We want to show that to you, but we want to talk about the big controversial, having betas put in aquariums and having betas filtration and heaters, right? I watched the video a year ago. I don't usually watch a lot of videos, but I'm going to start watching other tropical fish videos. And it was on betas, exclusively on betas. And it was about, all the beta myths. It was like, they don't need, you can't put them in a small bowl or a small aquarium. They have to be in a decent sized aquarium, probably a 10-gallon or bigger. They have to have filtration. They have to have heaters. And if you've seen my channel, you're shaking your head. You're going, okay, well, you already know where this is going because I've already shown you they don't need any of that. But there is a question here about surviving or thriving, right? All right, so that's what we're going to talk about today. Filtration, and we're going to talk about this filter. Okay, now remember, I'm the low budget guy. We talk in layman's terms here on my channel. But one thing I haven't mentioned this whole time is that we really are about, the whole point of Build an Aquarium Workshop is to help you, the hobbyist, future hobbyist, get the aquarium that you want, to build the aquarium that you want, right? We don't actually build aquariums on this channel. We don't actually get glass and silicone and start putting glass panes together and we silicone them and go, hey, we've got an aquarium. We don't do any of that. You know that by now if you've been watching my channel. If you're new to the channel, we don't actually build an aquarium, okay? You buy the aquariums built already. Once you get your aquarium and all the supplies you need, and that might be the question, hey, I want to build an aquarium, a beta aquarium, what do I need? Or I want to build an African cichlid aquarium, what do I need? And so it doesn't matter what the video is. If you have any questions, ask me questions, freshwater, saltwater, it could be cold water, warm water, right? It could be pond. Ask me any questions that you have in any of the videos. It doesn't really matter to me. Of course, I love the likes and the comments, and the subscription helps to build the channel. So of course, I'm always going to ask for that. But besides that, I'm here to help you, the hobbyist. So it could be anything, if it's equipment related or if it's maintenance, water changes related, things like that. Ask away all those questions. That's what I'm here for. As a long-term hobbyist, build an aquarium. We're here to make your dreams come true when it comes to tropical fish, okay? And so that's what the channel's all about. In case I haven't said that, I don't think I have said that. Okay, don't worry, you're not going to be looking at me the whole time. We are going to look at the beta tank and see how our beta is doing, okay? And what is the difference? So we got this filter. It's top fin. It's another inside filter. We have one downstairs in that 14-gallon rimless community tank, and now we have it here. I want to show you how well it fits in this little tank. They have little tiny heaters now. They got little tiny filters. This one's top fin, so it's from PetSmart. It was $15. And can you get cheaper than that? You actually can. I'm glad you asked. You can go to Walmart and get a Walmart internal filter. I think they start around $8 or something like that. And there was I think 2 or 3 options, $8 to $12. A couple at least in that price range. So if you don't want to spend a lot of money, but you still want to get your beta a filter or your small aquarium a filter, you can do that. And this thing will probably hang on a bowl as well, this internal filter. So I wouldn't put it on too small of a bowl, at least a gallon bowl, maybe a little bigger, right? Okay, this is our 3-gallon rimless tank, remember? All right, so let's look at the beta. All right, so here's our beta tank. And so questions. All right, I'm going to point out a few things. Here he comes. He was just resting on top there. Okay, question 1 about this internal filter. Let's see. How does it fit in here? Well, it fits in quite well. It's in this corner, which is great. It comes with a suction cup. It also comes with a hang-on, so you can use either or, which is great. Right now it's using the hang-on, but you can suction cup it. And it comes with a lid. I don't have a lid on there. The lid is there. This lid is, you can put it on there. I just have it so you can see the inside of the filter with its pad, right? It's pretty basic. Not a huge volume of water, of course, is for small aquariums. So you can't put it on anything too big. You need a bigger filter. They have bigger ones. So you can lift this up and you can see, get a better idea of the flow. So there's the flow. Now this thing's been running 2 weeks on the aquarium, okay? So we all know the added benefits of a filter like this. Let me put it back down, okay? Added benefits of a filter would be that you have a more oxygen-rich environment, right? Versus poor oxygen, low oxygen. And you also help clean the tank, right? Which is great. You have a filter pad, mechanical filtration, and the carbon is inside it, the activated carbon, which is your chemical filtration, which helps with the clarity of the water. So basically, long story short, this filters the water. It'll help keep it cleaner and looking clear, okay? It is not, filters aren't the answer to everything. Sorry, but this right here is kind of dying off, so I did a real water change with a small, tiny siphon tube in here, and I just kind of scraped it off, some of it, so it's on the ground right now. Now, the top of it is still pretty green, if you can see that here. It's pretty green, and you can see duckweed. You're like, oh, well, how is that working out? Duckweed with a filter. Usually filters get clogged with that, and they just suck it up. But I'm going to tell you right now, this duckweed is doing well, actually, now. It wasn't competing well with this algae, but now this algae is dying, which is hard to believe because it's really thriving downstairs in that African cichlid tank. It isn't clogging the filter, which is great. It's actually just kind of growing and hanging out. Now, once it becomes kind of big, maybe, but this filter tends to push it away and not suck it in. So I haven't had that happen yet, so that's awesome. Now, let me take the camera off the stand so we can look at him. All right, here we go. There he is. He's like, oh, he got scared. He's running away. He loves this little upper part. He loves to hide in there, and under the log, of course. So here you go. So here's the big question. I almost changed my mind. Surviving versus thriving. We want our fish to thrive, not just survive. Now, this YouTube channel was put out this video about how this, the beta's got to have filtration. Yeah, they can live without it, but they need it. Yeah, they could probably live without a heater, but they should have one, and they need bigger spaces. Well, so did adding this filter change my mind? And initially, the beta kind of perked up, but as you can see, this is still most of his day. And I'm going to show you the Tetris down below and the 14 gallons, so we can have a comparison. I'm going to try to drive this point home one more time. Betas are great for small aquariums or a decent sized bowl because they don't need a filter. They don't need a heater, okay? They are inactive much of the time. I'm going to say most of the time, like you see. And this guy's always hungry, so he's always wanting food. And right now he's just kind of chilling. He already got fed twice today, so he's just kind of hanging there. And I'll tell you, just looking at this, so in an oxygen-rich environment, which he has now compared to, no filter, there's still no heater, but it's summertime. It is really hot up here. I feel like it's 90 degrees inside. The weather's been about 100 degrees outside. This water temperature feels great. Feels probably like it's in the 70s, okay? Versus the wintertime, he was in there, if you remember my video in the wintertime, it was pretty cold in there. It was probably, maybe in the high 50s, low 60s. Water temperature, not air temperature, right? And now he's got a filter, okay? He's got a light. He should be super active, right? According to others, this guy should be swimming around like any other normal fish. But as you can see, he isn't. And even with me here, and believe me, he's a lot more active when I'm here than when I'm not. A lot of times I come up here, I rest, and I look over, and he's not doing anything, okay? This is the reality. Anybody who owns a beta, a Siamese fighting fish, knows this, okay? So hopefully we won't have to see any more of these videos, but I'm sure we will, on people who say, oh, they gotta have a filter, and they'll live a lot longer, There's another one. There's another myth about betas living, 10 years. Betas don't live 10 years. Now, can there be an anomaly out there? Maybe one beta that lived 5 or 6 years? Sure, why not? Okay, just like anything else. Just you got people living to 110, but most people don't live that long, right? We all know that there are a lot of people, maybe 70s and 80s. Okay, it's the same thing with fish. The same with all living things, right? But the average. We're talking about the average. The average is 2 to 3 years. That's it. This beta now, he's elderly. Okay, this beta is. What did I say? I've had him now for, a year and 8 months, right? He's coming up to 2 years, but he already probably was at least 10 months old, right? So we're talking, maybe 2.5 years. This beta is 2.5 years old, approximately. Okay, so he's an old guy. He's still kicking, right? Which is good. But yeah, I mean, and you expect elderly animals to be a little less active, and that's probably what's going on here. I can tell you when I first got him, he was like 10 months old. He was more active because he was younger. Okay, but still, compared to other fish, still very inactive. All right, let's go look at the tetras. Let's go look at them. They're kind of chilling right now, but they still are a lot more active. Those rainbows I have downstairs, let's go look at those. All right, and here's our 14-gallon rimless community tank. And as you can see, they're kind of getting excited because they're seeing me and they're like, oh, food, food, food. But I can tell you right now, anybody who has rainbows, if you have little tetras, they're usually moving. Okay, these fish are pretty active, you know, and I'm trying not to get too close to the tank, but, you know, they do kind of sit there sometimes. Like, look at this glow light hanging out here. Not super active right now, so fish do have their downtime, but as you can see, these tetras and the rainbows, how they move, okay, they are constantly moving versus the beta who can just sit there and really not even lift a fin and just... All right, we're back up to our beta tank, and as you can see, he is just hanging around there, not doing much, right? He doesn't really care that I'm here. He's just lounging around like he normally does. All right, so that's, folks, is our video for today. Sorry I didn't go over, I didn't take the filter out. It's a very simple filter. If you need any help with this filter or any other internal filter, feel free to ask me. They're very easy to set up. They come with the instructions, and you know, maybe I'll make a video on it, but they're pretty basic, you know, just like any other filter. You know, you want to rinse off the filter cartridge before you put it in there. You don't really need to do anything but maybe rinse the housing off, you know, for dust. That's it. You never use any harsh chemical soap, nothing like that. When cleaning filters or getting ready to put them in, install them. And so there really isn't much to know about this. This is the top one, Betta Aquarium filter. So that's really easy for you to remember. It's right there, Betta Aquarium filter. They have little beta sections in these stores. You can just go to the beta section or ask for help and go, hey, I want a filter for my Betta. The thing is has my opinion changed? Does this Betta need a filter? He doesn't. I like the idea that it has it. Maybe help keep the water a little bit, a little cleaner, a little less maintenance, maybe. But not a lot. You still got to do maintenance. So no, it doesn't. He doesn't need it. Okay. Does the Betta need a much bigger tank than this 3-gallon tank? No, he doesn't. He's perfectly fine, perfectly happy. Okay. And there's a lot of animals in life that live solitary lives. So there's another question people might throw at you and go, well, you know, he needs a partner, right? He's got to have it. He's lonely. You know, there's a lot of animals that they're not lonely. They're solitary animals, right? They come together only to mate, like hamsters, you know. This Betta does not need another male or even a female, okay? We talked about that before. So he's fine, okay? Lighting, yeah, lighting would be good. Natural lighting is fine. You know, you don't have to have a light. You get some good natural light, that would be fine too. Does he need a heater? Doesn't need a heater, okay? Now, if you live in a really cold area and this water is going to get, you know, I don't know, really, you know, close to freezing, then yeah, he's going to need a heater, right? He can't live in near frozen water, those temperatures. That is too cold. In the teens, 20s, it's probably too cold. Go ahead and get your Betta a heater if that's where you have your Betta, okay? But does it need a filter? Yeah, that's random or optional. And you know, will it extend the fish's life? Who knows? Maybe, maybe not. There's a whole science to that you'd have to have a bunch of Bettas, some with filters, some without. And there's a lot of variables. So, you know, if you find that a lot of your Bettas are doing better with filters or seem to be living a little longer, then, you know, get yourself a filter. They're not that expensive. All right, folks. Hopefully you learned something today about Bettas. We talked about them before, and I know we're talking about it again, but I was excited to say, hey, let's talk about Bettas again, and let's show you that even I got an internal filter, which I think is cool. I love the equipment. Didn't want to spend a lot, and I was able to get one. And like I said, it's also an opportunity to do a video and tell you if you do need help with your filter, and they probably make little hang-ons too. Whatever it is, let me know. Ask your questions, and I'll be happy to help you with that. Okay, like I always say, like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching, everybody.